You're about to walk away with 10 fitness mindset tips to embrace in the new year. I mean, what if I told you that even the smallest changes in your daily routine could really unlock a whole new level of health, fitness, everything for you in this upcoming year? I mean, starting now. And as we wind down this year and really gear up for the next, I just really want to just take the time to say thank you so much for tuning in every week, whether you're catching this on YouTube every week, or if you're over in your podcast app catching the daily podcast that goes out. Thank you so much. So much appreciation for you. I love being able to serve. I love getting that energy back from you. The feedback this year has just been absolutely off the charts. And I know this mindset stuff really is pivotal with a lot of the things that we want to achieve in our goals. It's an inside job, right? So just thanks so much for being on this journey with me. Merry Christmas to you. And you know what? Happy New Year as well. And speaking of New Year, we are going to dive into that stuff. But before we do, oh my gosh, if you are a person that you're like, hey, I really want to dial in these habits, Perry, hop over to talktoperry.com. That's where my calendar's at. It's wide open for podcast listeners like you or viewers like you. And it's all about not only keeping your energy high so you can reach your goals and really keep that, mental and physical battery of yours going, but to dial in the consistency, dial in the habits, and really remove the roadblocks that we often put in our own way. TalkToPerry.com, and hey, welcome to another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out, providing rapid results in mindset and fitness so that you can recharge that mental physical battery of yours, reclaim your power. I'm so appreciative that you're here. Let's talk about gearing up for the new year. A lot of us, at the beginning, ending a year and then beginning a new year, a lot of times we're in reflection mode on how the past year goes, and then projection mode where it's like, okay, what do I want to create? What do I want to achieve in this upcoming year? And a lot of times we have some sort of health goal, some sort of fitness goal. Now, if you don't, that's really cool. No worries. I usually do. I usually look forward like the next 12 months. Here's what I want to accomplish each of those months. How I want to challenge myself, how I want to really empower myself. And I love taking it in 30-day chunks. I know sometimes people look at that whole year and say, what do I want to achieve by December 31st of next year? But they'll just kind of get started and then somehow drift off course along the way. I don't do that. I keep it in my little 30-day compartments here so I can move forward and achieve that goal by the end of the year. And if I don't quite hit it, man, I got close anyway, right? So I'm going to share 10 habits with you. Just wrote them down. If I could read my writing, you will benefit. Because they're things to embrace, I believe. And they're more than just habits. They're really a toolkit for a transformative year ahead. I think that's just an amazing thing that we want to do. Here it is. Number one, consistency is key. Some of this stuff isn't going to be revolutionary when you hear it, but when you apply it, it will be transformative. It will be revolutionary for you. So consistency, that's a big one. Exercise every day. Just do it. Just show up, even if you have to go through the motions, because you're creating consistency. You're creating more confidence. You're telling yourself, hey, I'm a person who shows up and exercises even when I don't want to, even when I'm unmotivated, even when I've got a lot of stuff going on. Next one, it kind of ties in with that, is to empower yourself. Take a serious look at those things that you're giving attention to and saying, I can't because of this. It's like turning around and like, I can because I have this burning desire to reach my goal. And the other day on the podcast, I told you, get clear on your goals. But it's just changing. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I've got so much going on, I've got all these things, really step back and say, I'm giving power to that, and I need to give power to me. Because when I give power to me and I'm at my best self and I'm totally energized, I can really I have a totally different perspective, and I can tackle those other things that are typically energy draining, I guess. Um, I started to write down set achievable goals, and then I scratched it. Set big goals. And here's the deal with that. When you set a big goal that you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to achieve that. All you got to do, and this I got this from my friend Leanne Monahan. Shout out to you, Leanne. You've got this big goal. Don't even know how you're going to get there. Then you start to dial it back. What's the first base camp that I need to get to? It's kind of like, what's your Everest? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it all the way up there. Your goal is just to get to the next base camp. What's the base camp that you need to get to? Once you're at that base camp, then go to the next one. Then go to the next one. That way, you'll scale your way up the summit without it seeming like this big, overwhelming task. So that's the achievable part. What's the achievable part to the next base camp? But set the big goal. Okay. Celebrate victories. Acknowledge yourself along the way. Give yourself some acknowledgement for the work you're doing. If you're showing up for your workouts, maybe they're not the best workouts in the world, but you're showing up. Acknowledge yourself for that. Even just the victories that almost seem insignificant to us. Start to acknowledge and appreciate those. Be in gratitude for those. You'll have a different energy inside as you go about it. And catch yourself when you start to say, yeah, but, when you start to do that, you're dismissing the energy, the joy, you're blocking it. So a lot of times it's like, oh my gosh, I got 3 workouts done today. Catch yourself when you're about ready to say, yeah, but I didn't get 5 in. Oh my gosh, that is such a downer note. I got 3 in, and next week I'm going to keep improving on it. I'm going to get 4 in. I'm going to get 5 in. And I'm going to improve. Stay mindful, not only with food and stuff like that, but even really being present with your workouts. Sometimes, and I caught myself, and I still do, going through the motions, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, am I really giving attention to the muscle group I'm working? Am I giving attention to my posture, to my form, really making the most of the time and energy I'm putting in? Be mindful. That's another one. Rest and recover. You know what? Sometimes people start going for it and they're like, oh, no, I can't take a rest day. It'll throw me off. But if you look at rest days and recovery days as part of the fitness development and your transformation, you'll have a different perspective on it. Next one is community matters. And I've got them right here. Community matters. That's why from the very beginning, I was part of a community. It was an online community that I would check into just for accountability, support, motivation. I run one of those every single month. So if you'd like your next year to have those 30-day chunks, then Perry at putyourselffirst.com, or even hopping over onto my calendar at talktoperry.com, one of those two, and let's connect. I'll hook you up and you can get into the virtual community so that you can stay right on track. That's surrounding yourself with motivating people. Another one is to adapt and overcome. It's like you're going down the rapids and you never know which way the water's and the current's going to go. Be ready to tweak your plan. Be ready to pivot instead of an all or nothing mindset. It's like I have the new mindset of I'm going to figure this out anyway. I'm going to put all my energy on where my goal is, where my focus is. And if something's trying to distract me, like a tree's in the way, a rock's in the way, life's obstacles, not trees and rocks, but what are we making it, symbolizing as trees and rocks in our life, saying those are there. Where's my energy going to go so I can get to my goal faster? I'll still have to deal with those things, but I'm going to get there. So adapt and overcome. Patience and persistence. Trust the process. Results will follow. As James Clear, I think I bring up James Clear. I got to have him on the show. I bring him up almost every week. In the beginning, it's more important to develop the habits than it is to see the results. So persistence. I'm constantly working on my habits. I'm constantly improving my habits. I'm striving to get better. I'm trusting the process, and the results will happen. I know when it's health and fitness, a lot of us, we want results right away. You know what? Results right away is just you showing up every day. That is the results. Doing the habits. dialing in the habits. I'm a person who exercises. I'm a person that shops for healthy food. I'm a person that makes healthy food. Okay. And the next one is, let's see, review and refine. That's where you're continuously assessing and improving. That's why I said you can improve every single week. I embrace these, and I've got a few others. Collectively, I mean, these are not complicated things. It's just that we complicate them. They're not complicated. You can find and make time in your schedule every day. You can show up and get consistent and just shift your mindset. This is going to take repetition. So if you look at the whole next year and just say, right from day one, or even right now as of listening to this, I'm going to work on getting my reps in every day. I've got a little system that's a little mindset empowerment thing. And if you'd like my mindset ritual, I would be happy to share that with you. Get over to talktoperry.com and we'll have a conversation on it. I'll share with you my little empowerment ritual to where you can tweak on your own. But I get it. In the initial days, I had the uncertain challenges. And just one by one, I would figure out where they came, as they came up, I would identify, it's not on a daily basis, but as they came up, I would identify things that were holding me back or taking me away from my goal. And then I had the option to do something about it or ignore it. But if it was really holding me back, it's kind of like kink in the hose, you want it to flow a little bit easier. And so dialing in those habits, and this has been a 20-year journey for me now, and I'm looking forward to the next 20 years. And I want that for you too. A lot of people are looking at, okay, what do I want to accomplish this next year? And they won't make it through the first 3 weeks. That's only because they aren't applying some of the things I just shared with you. And now you're in the know. Now you're aware, right? So make sure you do that. I so appreciate you so much for being a part of this. Make sure you get over to talktoperry.com, because if you seriously want to dial in those habits this year, we'll have a conversation about it. So I'm here. I'm really eager to hear your top takeaway from today, because we can really use our power and take control, or we can let the excuses, the justifications, limitations, say I'm so overwhelmed, say I've got so much going on, and keep procrastinating. We just get good at procrastinating. We get good at quitting, right? And we let that drain our power, and we give up control on that. It really boils down to choosing yourself, deciding and committing to yourself and your goals, and then learning and looking at new ways, looking at possibilities, learning and growing, and keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. Drop those down in the comments. What's your big takeaway from today? Or even if you want to pop in a comment, maybe there's something you would add to it. I do reply to those. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to UpsideDownFit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.